Okay. What is your definition of stereotype versus prejudice versus racism?
Stereotype, I feel like, is something that people could kind of put on themselves, and it's something that people use to like separate people through ethnicity and to put them in their own little and isolate them from the rest of the population. And prejudice is related to stereotypes because people use stereotypes to judge people based on their skin color or their appearance. And racism, right? Racism is when you put a race or another ethnicity down under yours.
Have you ever been prejudiced against someone?
Yeah, I have.
You have? In your, have you ever witnessed racism, stereotypes, or prejudice like happen to you or somebody like around you?
I've experienced racism, like racial slurs and prejudice before.
Do you think this country has stereotypes?
Yes, I feel like this country does have a few stereotypes based on certain ethnicities and genders, but
is there like a popular stereotype of like your ethnicity or your country that you're from?
Yes, I feel like not a big stereotype, but I feel like being Mexican, since that's my ethnicity, people have that stereotype that we're very romantic in a way, or that we celebrate things in a certain way, or that we practice certain religions, which for the most part is true, but for a lot of people it's not.
Can being stereotyped be a good thing?
It could be a positive and to some extent, but for the most part I feel like it's negative because people expect you to fulfill those stereotypes.
Do you know what affirmative action is?
No.
Okay. In your opinion, is there an ethnicity that you see as more racist than another?
Yeah.
What ethnicity would that be?
I feel like right now, what's going on in our country, I feel like it's Mexicans right now, but for the most part, it's African Americans.
Do you make a judgment as soon as you see someone?
No, I try to get to know someone first.
Do you think that you can be stereotyped by your own race?
Yes, it's happened before.
Have you ever been positively stereotyped?
Positively stereotyped? Yeah.
What happened?
I don't know. They just said, like, since I'm Mexican, I'm a good dancer and I fulfill that. I don't know.
Do you think that like white people are more stereotype prejudiced or racist more than other like ethnicities?
Yes, I feel like that because it's been shown that white people are superior.
Okay. Have you ever proved a stereotype wrong or right?
I proved a stereotype wrong before.
Okay. Okay, thank you for letting me know. Have a nice day.
Yesenia Celia.
Okay. What's your definition of stereotype versus like prejudice versus racism?
What's my what?
Your definition.
My definition. Okay, so to me, stereotypes is just things that people do, like, oh, you're this ethnicity, so you have to do this. Prejudice is just like prejudging someone before you get to know them, and racism is like making fun of someone because of their race and putting their whole entire race down.
Have you ever been stereotyped, prejudiced against, Oh, and like, if so, like, what happened?
I have not.
You have not. Do you believe that stereotypes are like beginning to change?
Yes and no. It depends on the race. Like, for example, usually or all black or African American Jamaican girls, supposedly stereotypical, wear weaves and stuff, even though they all don't. So I feel like that is starting to change in some circumstances.
Do you believe that being stereotyped can be a good thing?
I don't.
Ooh, yay, a little. Okay. Do you know what affirmative action is?
No.
It's basically where like colleges pick certain like people, not because of their test scores, but because of like their ethnicity, and like to diversify. Do you agree with it?
Yeah.
In workplaces. How can you prevent like someone and like how can you prevent stereotypes in your opinion?
Just by letting people know that not all things like happen, like not all this ethnicity or race has to do this and this race ethnicity has to do that. Just to let them know that it doesn't have to be a specific way.
Do you make a judgment like as soon as you see something?
No.
Is there an ethnicity that you see at like more racist towards others than like other races?
I would have to say no.
So, in your opinion, is there a difference between like stereotype, prejudice, and racism?
I feel like there's not, no.
Have you ever witnessed one of those three happen to someone around you or to yourself?
Yes. Oh, it has happened to me because of my skin color and some things that I wear. Just, it's a horrible experience.
Do you think some countries are more racist than others, or more like stereotypical?
No.
Is the Una segunda. Can you be stereotyped by your own race?
Can I be stereotyped? Yes.
Have you ever been negatively stereotyped?
Yes.
Thank you.
Julie Salinas.
What is your definition of stereotype versus racism versus prejudice?
Okay, well, I guess a stereotype is when there's just kind of an assumption made about a group of people or type of person. Prejudice is maybe when you hold something against someone or a certain race or a certain type of person. And then your racism, that's just based on race, no other information.
Do you know what affirmative action is?
No, is that what allows people equal rights? Like, I don't know, admission. I don't know, I'm not very smart. I learned this so many years ago.
It's
25
okay.
years ago. I don't know, affirmative action is that we have to let so many people into the schools or for work.
Yeah, kind
Like
of.
so many races, so many
What's your opinion
backgrounds.
on that?
Sometimes I'm okay with it, and sometimes I feel like it's... What?
Nothing, go!
No. I am fine with it, but at times I feel like all the attempts to make room for everyone else still excludes a group.
Mm-hmm. Have you ever been prejudiced against someone?
No, I don't. Not knowingly, no. But I'm
Have you
guilty.
ever witnessed racism happen, or stereotyping, or like prejudice happen to somebody?
Well, the stereotype, pretty much every time we get on the freeway. We do, right? When that car won't go, or you're like, what are you doing? And you go by and you're like, oh, that's why.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and I feel like I may have seen racism, you know, in either like in a store or how certain people are treated. Definitely have. Not in the workplace so much, but definitely like in restaurants and in shopping centers.
Do you think your country is stereotypes?
Can you ask that again?
Like, I mean, do you think your country has stereotypes?
Yes.
Is there a popular stereotype for your ethnicity that you are aware of?
White man can't jump.
Okay. Do you believe that there's an ethnicity that is more racist than others?
I don't personally think so, but sometimes on the news, some of the things that you hear makes me feel like between some of the Asian race and some of the black races, there's a lot of racism between the two.
Do you make a judgment as soon as you see someone?
Sometimes I do. I'm not proud of it, but sometimes I do.
Can you be stereotyped by your own race?
Yes.
Like, give an example. I'm gonna get an F.
Okay, well, that's not my fault if you're gonna get an F, but...
Have you ever been positively stereotyped? And do you believe that you can be positively stereotyped?
I have not experienced it, so I'm gonna say I don't know.
Have you ever proved a stereotype wrong or right?
I don't think I've ever tried or thought about it.
Okay, thank you.
Emmanuel Salinas.
Okay, what is your definition between stereotype, prejudice, and racism?
A stereotype is when you classify all of them into one general thought. What was the second one?
Prejudice.
Being prejudiced is that you don't like somebody just based on a certain aspect of them.
Mm-hmm.
And the third one was what?
Racism.
Racism is you just don't like the whole race.
Mm-hmm. Have you ever been stereotyped or prejudiced against?
I would say yes. I couldn't point out a specific time, but I would say yes.
Do you know what affirmative action is?
Yeah.
What's your definition?
So when so certain entities would have to have so many types of different demographics within their firm or their school or what have you. So many women, so many people of certain races, and meeting their quota based on that.
Is there a popular stereotype of ethnicity that you are aware of?
Yeah, I mean, it just depends on like which part of my ethnicity you're looking at. If you look at the Mexican side, maybe you would say, you know, lazy or a hard worker, or it just depends on who it is. Yeah, I don't know.
Is there an ethnicity that you believe to be more racist than others?
No, I think they're all pretty racist amongst themselves.
Do you make a judgment as soon as you see somebody?
I do.
Can you be stereotyped by your own race?
Yes, you can.
Do you believe that a stereotype can be positive?
No, I mean they can, but I think very few are.
Have you ever been positively stereotyped?
Maybe, I don't know.
What was the main stereotype in your dating life?
In my day and age, like growing up,
Yes.
that black people they don't work and they take from the government.
Have you ever witnessed racism or stereotypes, prejudice take place?
Yes.
When? Like, what was the situation?
I think recently I was at urgent care and there was an older white couple in there and there was a Mexican lady and her son or daughter, and she was speaking Spanish, and the lady, the older white lady, got really upset and yelled at her and said, "This is America, speak English." And then they got in a little bit of an argument, and then the Mexican family left, and the older white lady sat there with her husband and complained for about the next 15, 20 minutes.
How did that make you feel?
I thought she was pretty ignorant, honestly, the older white lady. And to do that in that kind of environment was just uncalled for.
Thank you.